Hi everyone, and welcome to weeks 4 to 6 of your summer exercises and drills. Now I'm sure you've all been doing your weeks 1 to 3 exercises really well, and you're doing them super confidently and ready to move on to this next stage where we're going to adapt some of those exercises but also add in a new element called plyometrics, which we'll come on to a little bit later. As before, it's a great idea to start any of these sessions with a little bit of light jogging or brisk walking, just 3 to 5 minutes, just to get your heart rate up a bit, get a little bit warm, and then it's into leg swings as before. But from now, I want you to try and do them as much as possible unsupported. Really good reason for this is that it starts to be able to lock in your core stability, working on your posture, as well as warming you up. But I would say that I only want you to do that if you're confident that you can do them really, really well. If you need to start off still using the support of a wall to start with, then do that. Maybe try a couple of the swings unsupported and just build it up until you can manage the full set really, really well. After you've done those, it's into the calf raises as before, then the hip rotations, then the shoulder rolls that we did before, and then into the full arm rotations as well. But one little extra element at the end of that, you'll have done 5 backwards, 5 forwards, and having done those, I want you to try doing them arms in opposite directions. This is a bit of a coordination exercise, and coordination is a really fundamental part of our fitness and for our running economy. If our limbs are working well together, we can run better. So give that a go, see how you work with those, and then it will be time to move on to the next set of exercises. So now we're on to our mobilising exercises, and as in weeks 1 to 3, we're going to start with lunges. But now we're progressing them from the static lunges into walking lunges. Now when you start doing these, it's okay to just use your arms loosely for balance, but as you get more confident, I want you to try and introduce what we call running arms, i.e. mimicking the same way that you would use your arms when you run, which is the opposite to the leg. So if your left leg is going forward into the lunge, it's your right arm. And the reason walking lunges are a great exercise for running is that it is mimicking that running style whilst working on your strength and stability. So it's 5 of those lunges on each leg. Now, depending on the space you have in your garden, that means that you might have to break that down into a couple of sets, but that's fine. Whatever works for you, it's about just making sure that you're able to do them with the control in the space that you've got. Having done those, we're going to move on to squats. And the progression with these is that we're going to do them in a moving direction, moving horizontally, but also with a rotation with it as well. So after each squat, you're going to rotate off one leg and turn in that direction. If it's off your right leg, you're going to turn clockwise. And if off your left leg, you're going to be turning anti-clockwise. So kind of, as it were, leading from the front. Rather like with the lunges, the reason we're progressing them this way is that as well as mobilizing and building a bit of strength, we're also working on our balance and stability, crucial elements in running well. So that was the squat, and try and do about 5 in each direction of those. Go one way and then come back the other if you can. Next, we're going to move on to a new crawl. Last time we did the bear crawl, and we're just going to progress this and make it slightly more difficult into what's known as a tabletop crawl. And with this, you're getting into a lower body position. Your legs are bent, so almost in that sort of driving position that you might see at a sprint start. And you're going to go again forwards and backs with that. And the reason it's called a tabletop is because ideally your back will be nice and flat like a table. So now we move on to the drill section, and as in weeks 1 to 3, we're going to start with a couple of sets of short skips. Great way to start drills, as they really promote that idea of quick ground contact time and the energy that we're looking for when doing drills. I won't demonstrate those again now, they're on the video from before. After that, you're going to move on to a drill which is really just kind of bouncing from side to side, maybe for about 30 seconds. You're going to keep your knees slightly bent. And this is going to, as well as working the quick ground contact time as we did with the skips, this is going to give a nice workout to your hips and your glutes. So yeah, do about 30 seconds of that. Next is high knees, and we're progressing that from the static ones we did in weeks 1 to 3 to marching high knees. Same format as before, you do a couple of continuous ones, sort of 10 steps at a time, and then it's on to the ones where you will pause every 5th step. Really important with these that as you do the pause, you really try and lock in your balance. Try and hold it for a couple of seconds in as strong and balanced a position as you can. So as promised, it's now time for the new element, plyometrics. Now, plyometrics are a fantastic way of building strength and running efficiency, and they're effectively jumping, bounding and hopping exercises. But what's really important to say about them is that they're quite demanding on the body, so they should only really be done once a week. And it's also really important to build a base of strength and adapt your body to them, so they need to be done really progressively. So the first set of exercises that we're going to introduce this week are going to be fairly simple and straightforward, but it's really important that you try and do them well and consistently so you're ready to move on to the next stage. The first exercise is a standing jump, standing forward jump. You will just stand on a line, bend your knees, jump forward and land it. And it's the landing that's really, really important here. The landing needs to be what's known as the universal athletic position, which effectively means landing with knees bent, weight slightly onto your forefoot and your chest nice and up. This is a position that gives you balance and stability, but allows you to be in a place where you can move off in any direction. If you want to learn more about that and see more examples of it, you can look up the universal athletic position on Google. But here's a demo of the standing jump that I want you to do. And we're going to look to do 5 of these. The other plyometric exercise we're going to introduce this week is a hopping exercise, which I'm sure will be familiar to lots of you, and that's hopscotch. We're going to start with a very simple version of that, taking off one foot, landing on 2, but always taking off from the same foot. I want you to do a couple of sets of maybe 5 hops of these, and you can use the same leg on each set. It's getting the coordination and really controlling the landing and the whole movement of it that is most important. So start off nice and slowly, and build the pace through it as you get more and more confident. So there we are. Those are your exercises for weeks 4 to 6. As before, you can do the warm-up and exercises before any run that you do. Try and do the drills at least twice a week and the plyometric exercises once a week. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon.